faces, their lips begin a-flapping. They talk about world and local news reports, and even Steph Michaels, cause she's a doggy whore. Corey says,
man, it's a goddamn joke. Corruption is abundant and the POTUS is a hoax.
Stacy says, man, I'd like to act, but Americans are lazier than most, that's a fact.
So go get a bowl, a spoon, and some cereal, and sit your ass down. It's time for AirWreckRadio.
The Final Frontier. These are the ramblings of AirWreckRadio. Its continuing mission to explore strange news stories, to seek out new listeners in new demographics, to boldly go where every podcast has gone before.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and thank you for choosing AirWreckRadio. We'd like to apologize in advance if there's any inconvenience caused, but we're going down. It's the 29th day of July in the year 2013. I'm Corey.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is episode 12 of AirWreckRadio. We got a super grand slam of a show planned for you folks tonight.
It's a super grand slam.
It's a super grand slam, and that is way better than a regular grand slam.
2 grand slams. Go to Denny's, eat 2 of those. You'll feel like you're going to feel after you listen to this show.
Fat and lazy. We got coming up for you in the future, we've got our dear friend, our new friend, Dr. Tom.
Physicist Tom Allen.
Yes, our official go-to guy for things in the sky. Dr. Tom will be coming in a little bit to sit in the third chair, and we'll talk about space, because this is...
The Space Show.
The Space Show. Being that it's a space show, we're deviating from our normal format a little bit. We will not be doing headline news. Yeah, no, we're skipping it. Screw it.
Yeah, let's give you a quick breakdown of what happened in the news this week, just real quick. A train crashed.
Mm-hmm.
A propane tank blew up tomorrow or yesterday, depending on where you're sitting.
Yes.
Let's see what else happened. Not a whole bunch else happened. Pretty slow week in the news. The government still not getting things done. Thanks, government. You guys are doing a great job.
Effectively doing nothing.
So there's your headline news for the night.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of disappointing not having headline news.
I'd like to be like, headline news tonight. America is back on top.
Yeah, well, that'd
be great.
We got a lot more shows to do before we're able to do that.
Today, the House passed 1 million bills that were awesome.
They had no earmarks,
Yeah.
and there was no inflated budgets for anything. It was amazing.
Yeah, maybe not 1 million bills. Maybe like today, Congress passed one bill, and it said that all the shit they've been doing this past couple of years, forget about it.
Freaking garbage.
Yeah.
I've been doing the Bostonian accent a lot.
Oh, you talking about some garbage?
Yeah. It's too easy.
Man, I'm going to the store to get some milk, man.
Long vowels and you drop the I's.
Yeah, give me a quarter. Well, now I don't know what to talk about in my normal accent.
In my normal accent.
Because now I want to talk like that because it's so much fun.
Since it's the space show, I guess we will get our pontificating out of the way before the actual
Pontificating
smart guy shows up.
Means space rocks. We're going to get our space rocks off. We're going to talk about how we think is the coolest or best way to get around space for the future. I say jump drives, faster than light.
But I think I want to know. You're thinking on a much further away, grander scale than I am.
You're sighing into our audience's ears.
Because I'm annoyed. I'm
like the guy from Domino's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Remember him? Remember him?
Yes. Thanks for the visual element.
Yeah.
All
Folks
right.
at home didn't get to see that.
No, sure didn't. And lucky for them that
Probably
they didn't.
not at home anyway.
I think that you're being who you are, being a little lofty in your goals.
Oh, lofty. Foresighted.
I would like to see things that are a little more achievable in the near future. It is my belief, and we're going to ask Tom about this. It is my belief that.
How do you know that?
What?
That we're going to ask Tom about it.
Because I'm going to ask Tom about it.
Oh, all right, cool. It's a good point.
I saw the future.
Foresight.
I think on a realistic scale for interplanetary travel, not interstellar travel, solar winds and solar sails are a viable mode of transportation for a short-range kind of a cargo type.
Well, let me ask the obvious question. What kind of distance would you like to go on solar sails? Let's set the basis about where we're talking about here.
Well, the most immediate goal would be Mars. That's the next step. That's
I think
the
so
goal.
too. I think that's definitely the most attainable goal.
And using something as slow as solar sails, it's probably the only goal right now that technology would let us hit.
They had that. It was like a 3-burn slingshot mission to Mars. This was a plan that I read about that I liked for a propulsion thing. It would take 6 months, so you would start 6 months before Mars was where it was closest to us because its orbit is elliptical to ours.
Yeah.
And you would launch 6 months early, and you'd get 3 burns. You'd get 1 burn to get past Earth, get a quick slingshot off the moon, and then 1 more burn to break the atmosphere.
Then you use the slingshot of Earth to get to the moon.
You slingshot off the moon.
Well, you would need a burn to get off the planet.
Yeah. That's a
launch, but that launch is a burn.
Yeah,
but it's still a burn.
It doesn't really count. That's like that. You leave all that weight behind anyway. Everybody knows how you get into space. You strap something to a goddamn rocket and send it to the moon, or around the moon in this case. So, 1 to get pointed at the moon, slingshot around the moon, 1 to get pointed at Mars, and then that's it, man. And then you're just like coasting, cruising. It's like this thing. It separates. It's like pill shaped, and then it separates in half, and the 2 halves are connected by a tether. 1 half carries supplies, the other half carries the living people, and it just it circles its way to Mars. This provides some sort of gravity because it's spinning.
Oh, I see. It works like an old
like a centrifuge, or like that ride at a carnival.
I'm trying to think of. There was a weapon that people used to hunt with. The indigenous people used to hunt with.
It was called a sling.
Was it? Is that what it was? That's how it works.
That's why they call it slingshotting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they also use gravitational slingshotting because, like that's how we get to the moon. Is we use the gravitational
the
pull
weight
of the Earth
of the moon to flip, or the Earth,
and then you whip around.
Yeah.
You gain momentum through the pull of gravity.
So this thing that I'm talking about would go. It would take 6 months on just coast. You're just coasting for 6 months in space with like 12 people coasting through forever. Nothing to look at but stars. I don't even know if this thing would have... Well, it would have to have windows. They've proven that people need windows.
Yeah.
And then you get one more burn to correct yourself on your approach to Mars. It would land. I don't recall how it would get back.
Very few of the 2 Mars plans that I have read involve a getting back process.
Most of them seem to involve like a build a gas pump on Mars kind of thing, like where you would harvest the elements, hydrogen, I think, out of the atmosphere.
Yeah, the first couple of sets of people that went there would go there indefinitely. They knew they weren't coming home because they're the ones that's going to start building the infrastructure.
Yeah.
For people to be able to eventually be able to return back home.
Could you imagine that?
But signing up for that gig, I got kids. No,
I'll tell you, if I didn't have kids,
it would not. It would be on the table.
If I was me, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and they were talking about a mission to Mars, and they need able-bodied men and women, and they'd already gone a couple of times. Like, I don't want to be the first one because
I don't want to blow up. Yeah,
screw that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Like.
Yeah, I'm not a test pilot.
No, sir. But I would go along, say we've been there 25 times, and now we're starting to look for people with like employment prospects and
people who can build things, fix things, repair things,
right.
Harvest things, whatever, the cooking, cleaning, the necessities of life.
I'd like to think that I'd be capable of doing a higher job on Mars than the cooking and cleaning.
Cooking,
no offense to cooks or cleaners.
Cooking, cleaning, building, and fixing, in that environment are the high jobs. There's no room. You are not. Your lofty ideals and your high thinking are not important in a building a civilization.
Somebody over there has a white helmet. And all the rest of them have stupid orange helmets or whatever color they have on Mars. Probably not orange. It'd probably be very hard to see.
It would be it would be on the red planet.
Yeah.
But that would be a sure sign that human beings have managed to make it to another planet. They're supervisors here too.
How cool would it be to be a supervisor on Mars? Like,
I got a boss here.
Like,
Jesus.
But you're the supervisor on Mars, dude. So here's the thing: like, you can sexually harass whoever you want. And what are they going to do? Fire you? You're on Mars. All right. As soon as you hand me my pinks and a ticket back home, I'm fired. But until then, this is my planet. Until they kill you.
Yeah, and it takes several days for any communication to travel back and forth.
Yeah,
between the home planet and the colony.
Do you know what the time is for that these days?
What?
The how long communications would take?
I don't really know, but I know they're not much. It's not much faster than it was.
I don't know.
In the 60s.
They talk to that rover.
Yeah, but they use FM band. They broadcast radio.
No, they use subspace or.
Or
some fucking bullshit.
They what they do is they use electromagnetic waves to carry information across great distances. That's called radio.
That's horseshit. See, this is what I'm talking about. We got to the moon with a calculator.
Yeah, it's
like a calculator and a firecracker, a very fancy firecracker.
Mm-hmm.
But this shit was a firework nonetheless.
Yeah, it was with a big payload.
It was a rocket. Strap a missile on it, or
with two guys strapped to the front of it.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it was, and that's how we got into space, and that's how we even got to the moon. Was
the space shuttle program was a sign of taking a great step backwards. We need to make it more efficient to get into space, so let's make the vessel require more fuel and be heavier and wider.
I think it was that it was reusable was I think the big deal. But it even wasn't really terribly reusable.
No, you could use them twice, and
then you tear the wings off and put new wings on.
Yeah, and who wants to fly in a used space shuttle? Who wants to be the second ship, the second trip?
Who wants? Well, I mean, like
who's in the market to buy a used one? Who's on Craigslist kicking the tires on space shuttles?
You want to know who wants to take the second ride? The teacher on the Challenger. Too soon? Was that too soon?
No, it was just a screeching halt to the great fun we were having. You depressing prick.
I had to do it. It was necessary. It's the right thing to do.
It was bring the show and the fun of the show to a screeching halt was the right thing to do. You are a hole.
No.
Oh, guys, you're getting out of control, guys.
Stop it. Stop it. So, solar sail ships.
You don't like it.
How do you get it into space?
You would have to get it off the planet with a rocket.
Do you think it would be something that would be constructed? Because it would be huge. And the solar sail material is like, you can't really construct it on Earth in the proper proportions.
I don't believe so, no.
They have to build it in space. So
That's
this
what
would
I
be
understand.
like a huge project for the International Space Station.
But it wouldn't be like, yeah, it would be a huge project for a space station. But that's what the space station and that kind of infrastructure that we're trying to build is for. Putting a space station in the sky is for research.
Yeah.
But it's also for creating infrastructure. There's a stop. There's a depot.
I don't understand why they don't make another space station further away.
I think that's going to be in the plans too someday. I mean, doesn't it make sense? And now you've got a chain.
Like, build a bigger one out further away and put them all in it so that you can build like 3 more little ones, nearby.
When did this turn into Deep Space Nine?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna have,
it's got a mall. What was it? A promenade.
If we're gonna be spacefaring people, then we need to be.
We just need to own that bitch. It's ours now.
It's not even about own it. You can't always return to atmosphere just to get a little R&R.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like if
you're thinking a real space station, a real stopover,
like not some giant construct. Well, I mean, it would be a pretty impressive construction.
It'd be huge for our.
Take the space station we have now,
triple it,
and bulk it up so that there's a little bit of relaxation room,
or so much that you could,
a little bit,
or so much so that you could dock another vessel to it, and the crew of the vessel could interact with the crew of the space station and get out and move around a little. I mean, you're still zero G, but at least you could
make it spin.
At least it would be a different atmosphere.
Yeah,
for a day or two, and then off you go again.
Put some plants in it. You know what I mean? Like
now again.
Pretty it up a little bit. And
our propulsion would have to get much better, though, because we're assuming that you could just go somewhere, dock, and leave. Our propulsion would have to be much better.
Or we would have to have space fuel trucks, and now the private sector's involved, and already...
Private sector already is involved, and they should be.
That's what I'm saying. So already
get shit done.
You have, like, these low-orbit space flights that just you or I or anybody with an assload of cash...
Yeah. Virgin... the hell is that?
It's a Virgin Mobile guy.
Yeah, it's a Virgin Mobile guy. It's Virgin Airlines, but it's a different name.
But anyway,
Virgin Space something.
They take you already up into low orbit. It's not if you put something out in space where people could go to safely, people would go safely third party to space.
Oh, absolutely. If you if
come and
suddenly
see the one tree in space.
If suddenly that high orbit it's a high orbit,
whatever.
Space ride.
Yeah.
The space ride.
Yeah.
If this was suddenly $200, I'm in. Let's go.
You would need to get a lot more tickets sold for it to be $200.
But I'm saying if we could monetize that,
it's going to have to get there. If it's going to survive, it's going to have to survive affordably.
If you could make it affordable, people would do it. So if the next step after that is crazy expensive, the crazy people with money, crazy money will do it, and then eventually it'll become, you know what I mean? And that's the step of the private sector. The VCR comes out $200-$300 in the friggin' 80s or late 70s. Only people with money bought them. Now 10 years ago you could buy a VCR for $30.
Right.
In 2003 money, which is not the same thing as 1979 money.
Buy a VCR in 2003?
No.
Oh, good. What a terrible, even for $30, terrible investment.
Terrible investment. But DVD players, same thing. They came out. They were a couple $100. My dad had a CD players are perfect. Dad had a CD player in the 80s. It was about this big. It was about this big. How much was
that?
And it played one CD, held one CD. It was this big.
Yeah.
And it cost him $500-$600.
Yeah.
But he had to have it because it's my father.
Sure.
Now, what's a CD player for one thing?
Yeah, it's something you can buy at the dollar store.
Yeah, it's something that
throw it away when the batteries die.
My kids are like, it's something at the flea market that crazy old guy has for sale.
I really wish that your kids would stop calling me that crazy old guy at the flea market.
Well, stop being the crazy old guy at the flea market trying to sell antiquated
I'm
technologies.
trying to give away stickers.
With your free 8-track, you get a AirWreckRadio sticker. What's the 8-track of? Anything?
Steely Dan.
And that
Steely Dan 8-track.
and that one's Dylan, and that one doesn't have a label on it anymore. And that one's one of the fancy special edition black ones.
You have
so that's $1 more.
By a mile now.
8-tracks, the labels used to peel on them.
8-tracks are.
The labels used to peel on them.
I don't remember why we're talking about 8-tracks.
Because we were selling CDs. You were the creepy old guy selling CDs.
I don't think I was.
Yes, you were. That was what just happened. I said, my kids think CDs are something that some creepy old guy at the flea market tries to sell you, and you said, I wish they'd stop calling me some creepy old guy at the flea market.
Were you going somewhere with that?
No, we were friggin' rambling because we didn't do any show prep because it's a space show.
Space show.
And we've got Tom coming in, and then we've got an interview with a very talented band.
What band?
I believe they're called YoungBloods.
And where can we check them out?
You can find them online on iTunes. Bandcamp is where you can purchase their music, and you can also just check them out to be acquainted with them on the Facebooks.
They have a new single out tomorrow or yesterday, depending on your perspective.
Yes.
And I think that you can listen to that. You can buy it on iTunes. Maybe they'll put it on their Facebook. I don't know. Maybe we'll ask them. We'll see.
I don't know. You have a tendency to ask our bands, where can the people find you?
I do have an absolute habit of doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. Repeating the same questions every interview? Yeah. Well, there's only so many questions you can ask a band.
When you have bands, you've got to ask them, who's your influences?
Yeah, exactly. There's only so many questions you can ask. And that's why it's nice to have the mix-up, like having Tom come in, because now we can ask real questions.
I'm so looking forward to...
Not real questions, you know what I'm saying.
Physicist about things like solar sails.
Yeah,
and warp drives, and which is something we haven't even touched on.
Oh, yeah, we wondered because I was so enthusiastic about the Mars thing, and then we got sidetracked.
Well, that's what it's about.
Warp drives, and we'll ask Tom to explain them to our common minds in the easiest way he can. Do your best to fill the people in, sir.
You ever seen Star Trek? Like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Dilithium crystals. You're going to need that. Transparent aluminum apparently plays a part.
Antimatter.
Antimatter is important.
Yes.
No flux capacitors in space.
No flux capacitors, but they're not... we're more worried about space than we are time, even though it's the same thing, but not...
It's important because, like, whenever you hear people talking about space travel now, they're like, oh, yeah, we can get to the next planet in 92,000 years. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of time.
No, yeah. But we're not going to see that. My kids aren't going to see that. Our grandkids might see something.
I hope that's wrong. I hope that's not true.
I think our grandkids, I would say 3 generations from now, we're really touching on interstellar.
If we can just find, like...
If we keep up exploring space.
If we can just find a real bacteria living on something
rock, to really pull
space rock, some Mars, I don't care what it is.
Not a fossil, not proof that it used to be
around.
Something that actually is alive.
Yeah, or if our rover discovers algae that came on the rover and survived on Mars, I'd be happy with that too.
Well, that's life. I mean, it's
not Martian life, it's Earth life that developed on Mars,
but it's still out of environment, and it's still even if it is an Earthborn allergy,
it's not the same as
algae.
Alien life, which is what I would like to see any real evidence of before I die. That's
theoretically, and we could talk to the physicist about this, since everything's made out of star bits, there isn't any alien life, or it's all alien life, since we're all going to be made out of the same things.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know, alien to our planet.
Point.
Alien to our planet, but I'm
also not talking about Mexicans.
Even if it's a terrestrial algae that bred or cultivated in either space or on Mars,
that would be proof of plausibility.
That would be that would show that it could happen.
What do they call it? They call it proof of concept.
Yeah. There you go.
Proof of concept.
Yeah, and what you're saying is we really need that spark, that pull,
that living thing somewhere else that
makes us go,
happened
oh
on
shit, we
accident.
gotta get out there.
Yeah.
Or enough of
oil
strange
would also do that.
Yeah, if they found out there was oil on Mars, we'd already be there.
That's proof of alien life. And
well, yeah, because something had to live to create oil.
It's a process. It's a product of living processes.
Yeah.
So finding crude oil on Mars would first off totally ignite the space program because there'd be fuel there to get back here with.
And plus a BG and Exxon would pay big money
to
be the first ones to those oil fields.
To never have to suffer another ocean oil spill.
Yeah, because there aren't any on Mars.
Yeah.
And no life to
there
kill.
would be. I think if we got there would be oceans pretty quick, especially if we let the oil company. If we were like, oil companies, you guys are good at destroying planets. This planet needs some wrecking to get the atmosphere charged up. Get to her. It's the roaring 20s again, boys. Get out there.
From what I understand of terraforming, the big kick is the sudden influx of atmosphere, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and the other 72 fucking gases that make up our air.
Just the conditions aren't right for those things.
But creating the atmosphere is about the sudden burst of that, plus the sustainability of trees and animals, because it's not just trees that create an atmosphere, because an atmosphere is not made out of just oxygen.
Well, the atmosphere is already there. It's just a matter of getting it right.
Well, on Mars, there's no atmosphere.
That's not correct. No, there is absolutely an atmosphere on Mars. It is a thin atmosphere, but it is there's an atmosphere on the moon, but that's not really worth talking about. The atmosphere on Mars contains all of the same stuff as the atmosphere on Earth. It's just in different concentrations and colder. That's why it takes.
Well, it's definitely colder.
That's why Mars has giant dust storms, because its atmosphere has little resistance, but there's still a significant atmosphere to.
All right, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I see your point. All right, maybe you're right. The term "gone" is more broad spectrum.
Yeah, it's living atmosphere, pretty gone.
The livable atmosphere gone.
But it certainly has all the things it takes to have an atmosphere. It's just the conditions aren't what we like.
Well, yeah, and we'll talk with Tom about that. Are our conditions the only conditions? Or is it breedable? Other conditions where life might be breedable?
Oh, is that on our list of questions?
1,000 of them.
Hooray! So
we did sales. We did warp drive.
Barely, but whatever. It's such a non-point warp drive. It's fancy. It would get us where we want to get, but it would still take a long time.
It would still take a long time for it not being an actuality. It would take a long time. The things that are possibilities and actualities are taking long times.
Yeah.
So let's focus on them, and then our lofty endeavors on things that would save us time.
Jump drives.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're playing with forces we don't understand.
Oh, we understand it. We were here. Now we're there. What's the question?
I love the broad concept of your understanding.
You see how it's so simple to me.
Yeah,
I can't imagine a world without it.
When you don't take into account strange things like reality and facts, numbers, details, things are real easy.
Hold on now. This is fact. There is nothing in the laws of physics that says that what's here has to get there by traversing the distance between.
No, you're right.
There is no law that says that, and we're finding out things in quantum physics these days that suggest that it's already there.
Yeah, you're right.
Now that's very confusing for everybody.
In fact, it would still be confusing if we hadn't already had this conversation before.
Well, I don't think we've had it with our listeners.
No, we haven't. This was totally just us in your garage.
Yeah.
Before the show.
Right.
Having conversations that made us want to do this show. But and it's also too big of a concept to really go into for the next 4 minutes.
No, I can totally do it. Give me a chalkboard and a webcam. I guess we're going to need a webcam.
No, you said the jump drive thing was easy, and I said it is when you said you're one place and then you make this place, and now you're there.
Would you say
you're right. That what I was saying, what I was making the joke is that yeah, it is easy when you don't do any of the math or look up any of the information or experiment with the reactions to it. When you just say a statement like we're there and now we're here, yeah, saying statements is very easy.
I have a counterpoint.
All right.
Before we started this show, you went to the gas station, right?
Yeah.
Did you have to do any math to do that?
Huh?
Did you have to do any math?
Yes.
Did you have to calculate how to make your car start?
No.
How to make it run?
I had to pay for it.
How to make you drive?
I had to pay for it.
Somebody else did the work for you.
But the money in my pocket...
You're missing the point.
No. The money in my pocket, nobody did the work for me. I had to do the math to break it down.
You're missing the point. I'm not talking about the purchasing of the drink. I'm talking about getting from here to there.
You did all sorts of simple math that you didn't even realize you did.
But you didn't calculate how the motor works. You didn't calculate how many rotations the wheels were going to
Because somebody else already did that for you.
Somebody else already did it.
Well,
so
you're talking about somebody else didn't do yet.
Not yet. But when they do, we're going to think, this is easy.
Yeah, well, when that happens, it will be easy. But until then, I think it's a little shortcoming to say that that's easy. And I think it's a little shortcoming to the guys who are working on an incredibly big theoretical concept. The guys who are really dedicating their lives to figuring it out and making it work, or making sure that it doesn't work, whatever the results are. I think saying that this is easy is a little demeaning to their work when it's easy to say that when you're sitting in a radio studio. Just my point.
Sure.
All right. So now you're mad.
You don't have to argue it down to the bare points. Sure.
Well, you know what? It had been a while on the show since one of us got mad at the other. So it was overdue in time. But you know what else is overdue in time?
I believe a break is overdue.
Our break.
Yeah.
So, do me a favor. While you're listening to the fine musical selection we have for you, please go on the interwebs and check out our newest location of viewing and information exchange, AirWreckRadio.com.
And folks, don't forget, you can't forget, I haven't told you yet. Learn this now. Email us this week. The first people to email us, the first 10 people to email us at either airwreckradio.com. What is it? What's the email there? airwreckradio@airwreckradio.com? Yeah. Okay. God, it's a ton of words.
I know.
Or airwreckradio@gmail.com. The first 10 people to get their emails in, I'll send stickers to. It's not flowers this week, folks. We're ponying up to the big boy table with stickers.
I think they should get flowers as well.
I got stickers.
Or the toothpicks. That was a cute idea. I don't know why.
I don't have any toothpicks. We should get, you know what we should get? We should get like a little Asian guy to write on the toothpicks people's names.
It's not rice. It's even cooler.
Or we'll get him to write AirWreck Radio on a grain of rice. How pissed off is that Asian guy going to be? You want me to write what?
I want you to write Kent Parker Wright
at AirWreckRadio.
And we derail on the close. Please check out the fine musical selection. Please check out the website. Check out the Twitter. Check out the Facebook. And thank you for checking out AirWreck Radio.
It's all the same. There's nothing left to say. See eye, like a face that bleeds. It's all I ever see. Like a story of dying dreams. You hear these cries. I see it in you. But you know it's a house waiting for you.
Hey folks, welcome back to AirWreckRadio. A special reminder, don't forget to email us this week because we have a new little gag. Email me, airwreckradio@gmail.com with your address, and the first 10 emails I get, gonna get some stickers.
I'm sorry, sir. Did you say AirWreck Radio stickers?
I said stickers, but I meant AirWreck Radio stickers.
Oh, see, that's why I wanted to be more specific.
The first 10 people that email us this week with their address will get AirWreck Radio stickers. They're great for your notebooks, binders, other 80s school accessories. If you have
It's a Trapper Keeper.
your Trapper Keeper, yes. Put it on your computer. Put it on the inside of your windshield, not where it's instructing your vision. No, don't do that. Put it on your mom's face, man. She's always nagging you. Turn down that fucking AirWreck Radio. And
Shut up,
Mom. AirWreck Radio sticker to the face.
I'm pretty sure we're stealing a Beastie Boys bit now. I don't.
Whatever. You know what? It's good to look at who had what worked.
Listen, if you heard an
Those
AirWreck
people
Radio
sold
bit,
a
you've heard
song.
stolen bit. So
Those folks sold a song called Brass Monkey. And it was like an
funky
awesome
monkey.
song, right? Who doesn't like Brass Monkey?
Monkey,
Yeah.
monkey.
That song was about Brass Monkey.
The Funky Monkey.
They sold you that song. I think if you're going to steal from anybody, that might be the people to steal from.
That's a good point.
So, Tom, you're a physicist.
Yes.
And that's kind of like math. How does a mathematician deal with constipation?
How?
I believe he works it out with a pencil. Ba-doom-boom. Folks, that fine joke and probably several more tonight were brought to you by the fine folks at jokesforus.com.
All right. Good plugging, too.
Mathematicians are known for their jokes.
Exactly. But you know what? As much as you're not known for your humor, neither are we. So
It's okay. You know, I don't know if that's true because I actually have a ton of jokes about physics. For example, why can't you trust an atom? They make up everything. I have a million more examples.
give me one more and we'll move the fuck on.
Oh, good. Thank God. Did you hear that oxygen and magnesium got together? OMG.
That's my favorite.
For the
one
folks
so
listening at home that aren't familiar with the periodic table of elements, oxygen is demonstrated by an O. Magnesium is designated by an uppercase M and a lowercase g. OMG.
That's what makes these jokes funny, the technical explanation that follows.
It absolutely does.
That's exactly what
it
really
takes.
adds all the. That's what adds the humorous element.
Well, because if you were like, did you hear that Pat and Teresa
nothing element
got
nothing.
together? OMG is not a joke. But because it's oxygen and magnesium, ha ha ha. So, Tom,
All right.
we were talking about how you had just got back from Germany.
I was going to talk about how the fact that we tried to talk about how.
Oh, that's right. We
Germany,
suck at this. That's
and
correct.
we totally suck at this.
Let's tell everybody.
Here and there. Well, we have no other choice in the matter at this point. Here at Eric Radio, we're not used to having a special guest host. This is a pilot episode for all our loyal rec heads.
Ghosts are in like 2 or 3 episodes. We'll
I said
have some
ghosts,
You
yeah,
did,
yeah. Well,
But we'll have them for real.
guest hosts.
So, Tom, tell us about your band. No, Tom's not in a band. Tom writes books. Books like Space. It's What's Forever. The family in space together experiences degenerative muscle loss together. Or, if those two aren't for you, check out Tom's newest book, Getting Down with Gravity. Buy them on utunes.com.
What we're going to do is we're going to have our author friend Dan, he's going to pre-read them and give us a little editorial information about their writing.
They're great books. You're going to love them.
Or their horrible crap that Stacey made up on the fly.
Check them out on utunes.
utunes.com.
But in the real world, Tom is a grad student at the University of Toledo. He's working towards his doctorate, which he will receive next summer. His doctorate is in physics and astronomy. That's the stars, for those who didn't know. Your field is
Observational astronomy.
observational astronomy. That's looking at the stars.
Yes, we use telescopes all across the world and in space.
Do you use like those fancy radio telescopes?
I haven't yet, but hopefully soon I will.
I have a desktop theme from the Spitzer telescope. I guess that's the same thing, right?
We actually use Spitzer quite extensively in our research, and interestingly enough, the detectors that are in Spitzer were researched and designed here in Rochester.
Really? Yes. I had no idea. I just chose Spitzer because it had pretty pictures. Spitzer did very well with photographing.
I actually thought we were making a joke about Elliot Spitzer.
No, the Spitzer telescope actually is
a thing. That's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was launched in 2003 and has been used by astronomers ever since.
It's a space telescope in space.
That's one of the things that amazes me. I read a lot of stories about projects that we have out there already.
There's a lot
that have been out there for 10 years, and we expected them to die after 4, and they're still recording information and sending it back.
Yeah, like the Voyager probes that were launched in the 70s and now are on the edge of the solar system.
There's one that I heard about on another podcast, and unfortunately I can't remember the name of it, but it went out. It was a 4-year mission kind of thing, and it one of its motors that controls where it points seized up, but it was cool because they had like 5 of them anyway, and they only need 4. And then a year later, this year, 5th one went out. So now they only have 3, and it's not enough. And it's 3 years past its service date. I wish I could remember the name of it. It's 3 years past.
It would be helpful since there are so many, and I didn't realize how many pieces of equipment we have out there.
Oh, a ton
in our solar system that are just tracking information. I had no idea until I did the research for this show how many different pieces of equipment we have out there tracking different kinds of information.
To detract from my story, which was going nowhere. What kind of cool things have you looked at?
I look at massive groups of young stars and the material around them out of which planets form.
When you say young stars, how young? Because we're looking at them like in the past.
Yeah, the light we see from these stars left about 3,000 years ago.
That's
pretty
most
cool.
Pertinent to our position here in our little chunk of the universe.
Yeah, the closest ones.
Our little rock here.
So, what cool things? Yeah.
We use Spitzer and other telescopes to observe these massive young stellar nurseries to try to understand how planets like ours form out of the dust and gas that surround these young stars.
That's a pretty cool thing how that works, because it's like it just gets swirling. Like
last week, I learned that gold came from 2 neutron stars smashing together.
That's one way that can form. It can also form out of massive supernova explosions.
Oh, okay. That was one of the questions. Was there any other way to make gold? Which makes it so rare in the universe is those things that don't happen that often within proximity to our little rock, and we have so much of it on our little rock. That's what makes it so amazing, even though it's rare to us.
It's rare, but it's rare because it's hard to make, right? Like, it's only the do stars on their own, like average size stars, which are I think generally bigger than our stars, they don't actually make gold.
No, not gold, but stars can make up to iron in their cores.
Okay.
Into the weight of iron. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, stars can make up to iron in their core, and once that occurs, the nuclear processes that create these elements stop. Although when stars go supernova, they can the shocks and other processes in these high energy explosions can create other elements.
Okay. And now, as I understand it, stars that decay, stars that reach either white dwarf, supernova, or total explosion, which would be black hole, those are what are the building blocks of a stellar nursery. Is that correct? Because that's what I'm really interested in, our stellar nurseries. What starts the beginning of stars? Which is the beginning of everything?
What's a stellar nursery, real quick, Corey?
The birthplace of
it's
stars.
Where stars are born. Okay. What starts that?
The primary place where stars are formed are giant molecular clouds, which are giant clouds of gas and dust.
Which compress themselves.
Now, when you say giant, can you give us an idea of?
No,
No,
he
because
can say
it's-
numbers that you don't comprehend.
No,
Yeah,
I want to know them if I can. If you know them.
These clouds are thousands of times more massive than our solar system and have the capability of creating thousands and thousands of stars like our own.
Now,
Yeah.
mind you, in our star, the sun,
But they're
is a
considerably
small
less dense.
star.
So it would be the size of a galaxy, but at a more exploded concentration. It would be less concentrated.
Well, it's less concentrated than what we see around us every day, but it's more concentrated than what's typically in the galaxy.
yeah,
Right,
which is
right, yeah,
pretty
that's what I
much
meant,
open
like-
space.
Like here we have, but it would be roughly the size, only the density would be more evenly spread.
No, these clouds are much smaller than the size of galaxies. Galaxies can contain many, many of these clouds. They are, however, thousands of times larger than our solar system.
Okay, I get what you're saying. They're smaller than a galaxy, bigger than a solar system.
The
All right.
answer to my question, fucking big.
Bigger than your mind can wrap its head around, but big enough to know fucking big.
You want to know how big a nursery is for stars? Fucking big.
Was that on your joke list?
No, that was the question. That was the question I had about your question.
All right. Speaking of stars.
No, we're
Mike-
speaking of star nurseries.
Well, I was speaking of star nurseries.
Oh,
but my next question about stars. He answered my question.
Did he? Good.
The next question about stars was solar winds. I hear this term a lot in the research that I do. And now I understand how wind works here on our planet, where molecule bumps into molecule, bumps into molecule. But what are solar winds? Are they radiation? Is it electrons? What is moving that makes a wind?
It's particles, including electrons, protons, and many others.
Small particles enough in a dense enough source that it creates a movement.
You can think of it like the weather here on Earth. You have a high pressure system and a low pressure system, and particles move from high to low pressure. A star is just a more extreme version of that. You have a very high pressure system, which is a star, and a very low pressure system, which is space. Materials move from the high pressure to the low pressure.
That what you just said reminded me of a question that I had forgotten to write down and subsequently forgot.
I'm glad that I could remind you of it, sir.
Tom, I'm not sure if you're the guy to ask this question, but you're the best guy in the room to ask this question. There's absolute zero. Is there like the opposite of that? Is there a speed limit for hot in the galaxy?
Well, there's a speed limit for light, for everything, the speed of light.
Yeah. This is the ultimate speed
How
limit.
does the speed of light, how does light would
Which is my third
translate to
question.
temperature? Okay.
Hey, man, nobody can have all the answers.
Well, you can think of light as energy. A certain amount of light has a certain amount of energy, depending on the wavelength of the light. And temperature is just a measure of average energy.
Which is my understanding from what I can possibly understand from Stephen Hawking's teachings
But
about
what is that temperature
the universal speed limit.
in Kelvin, Celsius, centigrade, Fahrenheit? I don't
get
care.
your
What's the
question.
temperature?
I understand your question. What is the max that we've discovered?
How
What
hot is absolute light? I guess is
Mhm.
that's the question that I'm trying to ask.
It seems like strange wording.
I'm
but
going to
it's
write
not
a thesis
exactly
about that. I'm going to be the physicist next time we have a show about space.
It seems like strange wording, but it's not exactly wrong. Okay. Publicly documented. NASA doing research towards the theoretical capabilities of a warp drive. I know it always sounds strange to me too, but it's publicly documented.
Yeah, no, they
that
definitely
is
have somebody
happening.
on it.
They have funding in their budget towards a warp drive. It does happen. Now, my understanding from Neil Tyson deGrasse, the voice of NASA, the face of NASA, whatever you would call him, is that his belief is that it cannot happen until we come up with a power source strong enough to generate the field and propel us.
Yeah, iPhone batteries not going to do it.
Well, the concept of warp drive, you're actually warping space and time, so you're moving 2 points together. To do that, you would need an extremely large mass or a shit ton of energy.
Yeah, to pretend that it's a large mass.
Oh, that's his whole point, is that the shit ton of mass we could not possibly create artificially. So we'd have to create the energy artificially, and that's why he says it's not realistically capable within anything we understand.
We're
now.
talking about 12 gazillion chainsaw power.
Well, but I wanted to know what our local astrophysicist thought of it.
You're right. It could become more efficient.
What I wanted to know from you was more a blanket statement of, do you feel that it is a possibility in the future based on technological evolution, or totally bunk, can never happen? Because if you ask the leading physicist in the planet,
just did.
The leading physicist, not the
Future
leading
leaders.
physicist we know. Not possible. Never happened. According to what I understand from Stephen Hawking.
Oh, Stephen Hawking, such a goddamn pessimist anyway. Fuck him.
Can't happen.
Non-walking ass. Sorry.
Cannot happen.
No, he doesn't.
He says it
Because
cannot
he
happen.
can't run
It's
away.
Not possible. What's your view? Future, maybe, because we don't know what the fuck we can do?
I don't think we're capable at this moment of harnessing that scale of energy. And there's a limit to the amount of resources that we have available to us.
That's more, there's a limit to the amount of power that we can produce.
And somebody would have certainly said that you could never, ever, ever connect all the computers.
And at one point, people said we would never be able to fly.
Right.
Yeah,
They said you'll never do it. You'll never do it.
Never ever said that you could create
It just
a weapon.
took somebody's imagination and drive to do it, and it happened. And I don't see that. Now, do you have an alternative form of getting us across the stars? Because, goddamn it, if you're only here to look at them,
that
that's
kind of
really
connects to
disappointing.
my solar winds question. Some of the research I've done have suggested towards that we started sailing our seas based on the power of environmental powers like the wind. We started sailing based on sails. And some research I've done has indicated that maybe one of the more proficient ways to travel across star space is to use solar winds and a harvesting kind of sail way to propel us forward. Problem is the back because of the sun.
I don't dig that one. Is that a viable?
Well, we started on our seas, we started
I understand. We sailed in
Let us start at
considerably
another place.
denser air, in actual air, with air wind, but solar wind is not the same. Is that really a viable?
Yes, it is viable. And you don't have the same sort of limitations on the size of the sail, for instance, that you would have here on Earth.
That's true. There's nothing really holding you back, and the sail can be goddamn gigantic.
outside of your distance from the source of the wind.
So solar winds, solar sails, that's a rough. It'll get you what? It would probably get you to the edge of our solar system, and then you're kind of adrift in the direction you were going, right?
Well, it's not perfect for all situations, but would certainly be effective for some sort of inner solar system space travel. You could also use the gravitational slingshot effect.
Which is how we hit the moon.
That's also how you get back to the future in Star Trek 4. Slingshot.
And how Superman turned back time.
No, he goes backwards around the Earth twice.
Opposite the orbit.
I gotta say, Superman's time travel is bullshit. There is no basis for that working.
Well, yeah, but it looks good on film.
It does.
It does
but it doesn't
great.
make any
But
sense.
in reality, everything would stop, shift about 1,000 miles to the left.
I don't even know if it would. He's so small. I mean, his density doesn't change. It's retarded. No offense to our retarded listeners, of course. So,
Wait a minute. We do offense. That's what we do here.
So, I have a question about propulsion through the sky that I would like to ask the only physicist I know,
Exactly.
Dr. Tom.
Exactly.
How? What is your thoughts for us getting off this rock, like in a meaningful, not just Mars, not just like Mars
Fuck
to
not
me-
just Mars.
No.
Mars is the next
Shut
step.
up. I'll get back to Mars. Mars is a given. We got to get to Mars. If we can't get to Mars, we're fucked. We're pure. I hope the hell so. I hope the hell so. But we know that the ways we're going
It's
to
a
get to
one-way
Mars.
trip. Just
The way we're going to get to Mars, we've got a couple of plans. They're all good plans. There's only like 3 of them. How are we going to get past that? How are we going to get to a new star?
whoa, big question.
Yeah, I was trying to get there. I would like to hear the answer.
Well, there's ideas for concepts such as ion drives.
That still takes forever, too. Isn't there a way to get us...
It's a long distance to travel. We're still human beings.
I want to get there right fucking now.
Welcome to Star Trek.
No, actually, welcome to anything but Star Trek. Star Trek, they move space and time around them.
Yeah,
but that still takes a long time. I'm talking about,
to the point where it decayed the galaxy. That's how much of a Trekkie I am.
What about, jump drives is another fun sci-fi kind of drive that people talk about.
Really touching on the border of dimensions there, pal.
This is the ability to go from where you are to where you want to be right now by pinching space-time. A wormhole, yeah. No. Yeah, but this is like point A and point B, not pulling a rope. Yes, teleportation.
What he's more describing now is making point A and point B a singular space and then unfolding time around you, and you were in the second space.
I've heard they've had some success at that.
How about matter teleportation?
That's insane to me. Like, didn't these people see The Fly? Don't do that. It's terrible.
Well, Jeff Goldblum is a good actor. Don't discourage the...
It's all information.
Yeah, it's ones and zeros, sort of.
A series of zeros and ones. That's all anything is.
The thing that bakes my noodle about that is that, like, when you break it down to code, when you break it down to just numbers, because you can break it down to just numbers, if you were able to teleport yourself, would you really be teleporting yourself or just 3D printing a copy of yourself and you're dead?
This is the argument we've had many times over getting drunk in a garage.
But we never had a physicist to ask.
Yeah, exactly. I'm dying to know because... Well, yes. I'm all for matter teleportation, taking a thing apart at its building blocks, moving it, and putting it back together. He says that all you're doing is killing yourself and creating a clone in its place.
Are you just a collection of matter?
Yes. Are you more than the sum of your parts, is the question.
I'm not saying he's saying that. I'm saying, no, you're certainly more than that. No, I'm concerned that, like, if you teleported yourself with what makes you not just a collection of matter, also teleport, or would you create an entirely new entity that was such a perfect copy that it didn't know it was a copy?
If I take someone's picture, do I steal their soul?
Now we've gone from
there's
physics
not. I guess it's kind of hard to measure.
Philosophical.
Sorry,
this is the philosophical.
Well, I want to know what a physicist thinks.
Yeah, good.
Are you dead? No, not you. Your teleported copy of you.
Well, certainly, I think if that we are just the matter and energy that makes us up, teleportation would be just fine. But yeah, if there's something more to us than that, I wouldn't want to be the first one to try it.
So if we have some kind of lasting energy that is more than just the energy that we generally measure, it'll make the transformation, perhaps? Yes. There's a potential it could.
I guess I
take that answer. That's a good answer. I guess
that I argue that we are not more than the energy that we measure, and that as long as that energy is intact through and through, that we've not died, we've just transcended.
Transferred, actually.
Whatever word you choose to use. Yeah, that's... I say transcended, because you say transferred, but I say that I've just moved through time and space. I've transcended. I guess it's a matter of perspective.
Oh, whatever. Lofty expressions. I feel like the only way to get a good answer about this is to ask the first guy who does it.
Yeah.
But the one, like the other end of him, the end of him that we can't be sure about. It's like asking a dead guy, hey, so is there a heaven? It doesn't work. They don't answer. No matter how many times you ask them, they just don't answer. And if they did, they'd be a zombie. Double tap.
I know that actually was a Call of Duty.
It wasn't.
I know. That was the joke from last week.
So if a neutron star walked into a bar and asked how much for a drink, what do you think the bartender might reply? No charge. Because it's a neutron.
Take us to break.
Guess what, everybody? We're going to break. Enjoy this song from one of our many great bands. Email us at airwreckradio.com. And give us your address when you do that. Or if you don't like that one, email us at airwreckradio@gmail.com, and I will mail you stickers. For the first 10 people, you'll get a sticker. Stick it on your Trapper Keeper. Stick it in your kitchen. Stick it in your keister. I don't care what you do. Just stick it.
Bizarre, bizarro, bizarro, genius, baby. Bizarre, bizarro, bizarro, genius, baby. That I fathered a bizarro genius, baby. She's out the womb like, dude,
why'd I get expatriated?
Debated it 1 month, the finer points of a diaper. Devised a device composed of a hose and a windshield wiper. Grew riper in intellect as the months passed. More a dunce cap, ironically. Grew fussy once and she summoned me, not sonically, but through a series of editorials that she authored. Entitled, is MC Frontalot one of the worst fathers? Oxford, Stanford, Harvard called, shouldn't call him back.
Tuition and housing, I'm holding out for a tenure track.
Distracted by her first birthday party, I hardly noticed that she brought peace to the Middle East, or at least a ceasefire with the POTUS. No dust had settled when she disproved Fermat by finding A cubed plus B cubed that equals C cubed. And her sadness at throwing the field into disarray got her swayed by a brand new rattle and a mid-parfait. Bizarro genius, baby. At first I was elated, but eventually I grew concerned. Bizarro genius, baby. You prove my genes a grade A, but what of when tables turn? She had to settle for the Fields Medal, but didn't settle well. All the while cursing the indiscretions of Madame Nobel. Then so well, tuck it out was she at this point that she nabbed arose with the whole symphony composed in B flat. Yes dear, it'll go with the other ones on the fridge. In between the two Puccinis you translated in the bridge. Just above I love you dad in macaroni glitter. And the 37 villanelles to mom. But I ain't bitter and no quitter was she neither when the time it came to walk. Built an exoskeleton out of gelatin and chalk, which allowed her to run 30 miles an hour around the yard. You think parenting your normal little children is hard? I got scarred, scared, scampered at the holographic artifacts that she projected on the scene with a machine that automatically discerns your worst concerns and makes them visible. She deemed it risible, her glee was indivisible from all emanations that the baby would make. I had to become less hilarious for all of our sakes. I made mistakes, I'll admit it, dropped the kid on her head, destroyed the part of it, the thought of evil, or so she said. Now I've read this thing out myself in part. She quoted, reap what you sow, I had to take it to heart. I sought to restart, I said, girl, you'll be a woman, can't be dabbling and dilettanting all the time, I'm assuming. Gotta pick a theme, focus the beam of your brain power. Her face became overcome with an insane glower, and then it remained sour. She said,
oh, I have, though the UI that you gave me was buggy. I finally found me the nav, and I'm dialing in a career path. I think you like Scots when I played with an 808 ends with a mic.
Didn't need her to elaborate at all. She was already wearing the glasses, mic in the palm. She planned to become a nerdcore rapper just like me, so I shipped her to Singapore, sold her baby ass to Nike. Bizarre, bizarro, genius, baby. Sorry, baby, you work for them now. Bizarre, bizarro, bizarro, genius, baby. Stitch 'em tight. Bizarro genius, baby. At first I was elated, but eventually I grew concerned. Bizarro genius, baby. You prove my genes a grade A, but what of when tables turn? What of when tables turn? What of when tables tables?
We're coming, America.
When I'm stuck here all alone.
These are the AirWreckRadio interviews.
thank you. Welcome back to AirWreckRadio. Joining us in studio are our new friends, the band YoungBloods. They are joining us here to talk about their new single, Reawakening, which will be available tomorrow on iTunes and Bandcamp, you said? Or is that in the future?
Yep, Bandcamp.
All right, we got Joey and Justin, right?
Correct.
In studio joining us to talk about their new album, their old work, their band, and everything else. Just say it, dude.
I cannot hear in my headphones.
All right, I will adjust that problem
I
momentarily.
just want to make sure you hit the button.
Thank you. Yeah, no.
Because we're live. It would be terrible if we were live and you hadn't pushed the button.
Okay, I can hear my buds, so
Okay, cool.
just keep going. You have the first question of every band interview that we've ever done.
I do.
So take it away, partner.
I'll just have the first answer.
Partner.
So, tell us about YoungBloods. Give us a brief history, if you would.
YoungBlood. YoungBloods is a 5-piece alternative rock outfit based out of New York and Ohio. And we're just getting back off of a 2-year hiatus and getting ready to put out a new record.
When you say based out of New York and Ohio, do some of you live in Ohio?
Yeah. 2 members live in Cleveland.
What do you guys like? Skype practice?
No, we see each other. We have our dates once a month. We go out there.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Huge bromance.
Yeah, that's a lot of commitment. I mean, it's not. Whereabouts in Ohio?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. All right. Well, that's about 4 hours.
Well, other guitar player Chris, he's from Rochester too. He actually moved out to Connecticut for a little bit. So
yeah,
girl reasons.
That's much further.
Right.
Yeah. So he was commuting to Rochester, and then we were driving out to Cleveland, and that's what we've been doing for the past 4 or 5 months. It's just getting ready and prepping and doing.
So right now, you guys are recording an album.
Yes.
We got a title for that album.
We've been tossing some ideas around. We were
still in there.
Well, we were thinking like, what doesn't kill you makes you, but like leaving it like an open book, because people make it whatever they want. You know, some people say stronger, and some people, I don't know. You know, people you make it whatever you want. You know.
Yeah.
Come out whatever way.
So like ...
Pretty much.
Whatever doesn't kill you makes. All right, that's cool. That's a cool title.
It has a lot to go with us. That's the same thing with the title Reawaken, because our last album was called Rebirth, and this is kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say an extension to it, but I don't know.
A sequel.
Yeah.
The next evolution.
Yeah.
That's our second album, I think.
Yeah, it's the album of growth. If this is what we were about, this is what we've grown to.
Yeah.
This is what we've become.
Now you got new members in the band on this iteration. Is that correct?
Yeah. We went through some member changes. Chris and I are the only 2 original members from 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Chris and I. Chris is currently on Warped Tour right now with Peter Says Denim, who's a clothing line, and he's just kind of helping them out. He'll be up in like the next week. He's gonna be moving back to Rochester and this and that. But Chris and I have been together forever, and we've just been working on it and going through the struggles and trying to find our niche. So these 2 guys from Cleveland are just friends of friends type of things, and then our drummer Justin Dunn. Randomly hit me up on Facebook. He saw me out and just pitched the idea. Actually, the band wasn't even together when he wrote me about playing drums, and we after thinking about it,
good drummer there.
Poor kid.
Good drummer's looking for no band.
He was so good. Actually, it's funny because he was the drummer of Machine Gun Kelly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, he's an amazing musician, and he wrote me on there, and I didn't he's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna make a cover video for your single Species and this and that, and we weren't a band at all, and I was kind of just done with music for 2 months. I just tuned it out, and I pulled a jerk move and read it and didn't even respond to it, and so and then we met with our singer Carl out there, and he's like, oh yeah, let's get YoungBloods back together, and Chris and I were like, well, let's think about it, and then he's like, yeah, this kid Justin Dunn wants to play drums. I'm like, wait, I know that name, and I went back into my files, and it was that kid. And I'm
to the other.
Oh no,
that's great.
Now I got to respond to him.
So this was a guy that
it went to my spam mail. I'm sorry.
Wait, I didn't read that.
That's cool.
So
So are you guys touring right now? Playing out at all?
No,
It's
all
recording.
prep mode.
Yeah.
It's all prep mode. Yeah, we're working on it. We're halfway done with the record. We have our first show back August 17th in Cleveland. So we're gonna head out there. We actually head out there this weekend to go finish more of the record, and then we're gonna head out there in like the following weekend just to go practice and get ready. So play our show, then we're gonna come back, get the album, printed and pressed, and just go from there. We'll be back on the road definitely this fall. I mean, we're all eager to get.
Well,
back
this
out
fall is
there.
pretty close. I mean, August 17th is what is that? 3 weeks away. That's
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, no, it's gonna come fast. When I say fall, I'd probably realistically the end of September. So
Yeah.
but I mean, we still got to set up a Rochester show and go that way out.
Yeah, it's weird to have like two hometowns that are like, but they're good hometowns to have because a lot of people will do the rock scene travel from Rochester to Cleveland,
Yeah,
and vice versa.
Yeah, we've had people do that. We were blessed to have some amazing fans,
No.
and
It's really not that bad a trip. Couple hours, couple buddies.
Hey, we make
split
it-
the
we
gas.
make it
It's
once
not-
a
I
month,
used to
so,
do it
yeah.
for death metal bands, believe it or not. I definitely used to drive to Cleveland to see like Cradle of Filth.
oh yeah,
There's
No, I still don't understand. No, I don't.
It was fun. It was a rock show, man. With a lot of interesting people, I might add. There was something to see.
Well, that's the best thing about going to those kind of events is there's lots of interesting people watching to do.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite thing to do? Studio recording, it's tedious, but it's about perfection. It's about achieving the dream, or playing live. It's not as, precision, but it's about having fun and living the dream. I
think between the two, yeah, definitely playing live. Playing live,
That's where the rush is.
it's a raw. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, man, there is no better experience. All that hard work, everything you do daily, whatever it may be, the small stuff, anything you do, it's about that 30 minutes that you're on stage, that 30, 45 minutes, and that's the best part about it. So
yeah, that interests me because as podcasters, we don't have that.
There are actually two people
Live
in the
payoff
studio
like
with us
that.
tonight. Justin, you same thing for you, or you like the recording process? Or?
More always live. Like before this, I was doing merch for 5 years with these guys, and basically for me, it was just always a party. I would just get to interact with everybody, meet new people, and just honestly, I love being on the road touring.
Yeah,
that's just the greatest part of it.
Whereabouts you guys like? You must go more than, or be planning anyway to go more than Rochester and Cleveland.
Oh yeah, we've done most
doing
East
like the
Coast,
Northeast
heading out west
tour.
and stuff like that.
yeah. When before the hiatus and everything, the band was very, very active. We were always going out DIY, then we were always going out with other bands and stuff like that. And we were hitting the East Coast hard. We would never, we barely did small runs. So
yeah,
top to bottom and just hit it out. So
it's so good to be like, where we are geographically, because you can hit up the whole East Coast and it's like nothing. You're not getting anything in the West Coast because the Midwest is like
your music
you're gonna
would do
drive
so well
through
in
it.
the
Yeah, you're not
Midwest,
going to do
I'm
really
sure.
good in Oklahoma, I think. or maybe you do great in Oklahoma because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah,
Arizona,
that's a good point too.
They'd probably stop you at the border and be like, "Nope, go around."
The state isn't for you boys. Just keep moving.
So, cool rock story. Anybody got a cool?
Oof.
I mean,
what do you mean by cool?
Right.
A story that you like to get drunk and tell people.
That's the one.
I don't really remember those.
There's a lot of
No. Not the stories from when you got drunk
Okay,
and told
okay.
people.
The stories
like,
you tell
shameful
when you
stories.
are drunk.
Gotcha.
band stories. All right. Well, here's a. I don't know. It depends on your. I don't know. I love laughing at those moments when you're like, wow, shit cannot get any worse.
Absolutely, those are the best
And-
stories.
oh my
No
God.
good story ever comes from a smooth operation.
Oh my god!
No
And
good
we
story
don't
starts with
have-
I had a sailor.
There's no-
we don't have smooth story. Like nothing has ever come easy for us. Nothing has ever just been easy for us, and we love it though. Like it. I don't know. We were in West Virginia during a blizzard. The wheel busted off and it was hanging out by a thread, and we were driving through the mountains of West Virginia.
The wheel of what?
Our wheel of our van, actually.
It's a van.
Yeah,
like a conversion van.
Well, that,
Cool.
that makes a difference because you pop a ball joint in a Honda, it's a whole different experience than popping a ball joint in a cargo van.
Not even while carrying a trailer filled with gear through the mountains of West Virginia, and when you're going downhill, swaying back and forth behind you. Oh my gosh! I grabbed the wheel. I'm like, oh, I got this and that, and then all of a sudden we just left. It's about. We finally, what was supposed to probably be a 5-minute drive ended up turning into an hour, just because of how bad it was. And a couple of us were up and we just sat in this random parking lot of this like random car shop that we were hoping was going to fix it at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
We got there at like 6 a.m. A couple of the members are like, oh my gosh, life sucks. And then, yeah, exactly. And then like the other, me, Chris, and, one of the other guys were sitting there and we're like, wow, man. This is really shitty right now, but this is but you cannot get it. This is the best part, though. We're laughing.
Right. You can't let it get to you.
Not at all.
Because then it won, and your life sucks. If you just own the fact that this moment sucks, then it's not that bad. You're still winning.
Plus, I think it's probably it's easy to get off on like that's good. Those bad stories are like those are the stories.
Those are the best times.
You're never like, oh yeah, so we went to Cleveland and it was completely just a show. It was average, and the drive there was average. We had some moderate traffic, a little bit of rain. That's a terrible story.
But it does sound like Cleveland. So
that would absolutely be weird to us.
Right.
There's never been one time that we just left. I remember at a gas station, a Dunkin' Donuts trailer basically almost ripped off our door when we were pumping gas.
See, there you go. It's good.
And then it slammed shut. But our guitar player at the time,
hit the door. It bent the door and it just slammed itself shut. Like it didn't take it completely off.
Right.
But
it just bent and slammed shut.
And we're sitting there looking at what?
Chris was checking the tire pressure, our guitar player, and he had to duck.
Jesus, it's a good thing he wasn't on the back tire.
And as he looked up, the trailer was coming through, took the door, and he just hit the ground. We just all shrugged our shoulders and just, all right, well, let's.
And that's why we don't eat donuts anymore. Now.
It's morning in rock and roll.
Oh God, I need a beer. Oh my God.
Anybody?
So got to go with the hacky every interview ever done question. Major influences that made you the musicians that you are today. And I want a general I love Skinner. But I also want to, I'm a guitar player, and I like the way that he does this, and that's why I like him.
Sure.
For both of you, though. For you first, Joey, and then Justin.
All right. I picked up a guitar. I don't want to say I got really serious at it, but I picked up a guitar because of Kurt Cobain when I was 10 years old, actually. Yeah. So, I mean...
I don't think you're the only person to have ever done that.
Everybody.
I'm sure that's not the only answer.
Yep.
Who's that?
Who's that? He used to be the singer for Dave Grohl's band.
Oh, I completely understand that. Was he in the Foo Fighters?
Yeah, they had a different name then, though.
Okay. They dropped the D.
We can't play their music either.
Yeah, no, sure can. That's because we're cheap and we refuse to pay. So
it's like $400 for rights to all that music.
I just want to comment. I'm just glad that Justin has a Jenny Light in his hand.
Now he's got a Keystone.
Well, now he's got a Keystone, but he's got a Jenny Light that he didn't.
We're all class here.
Only
tonight.
the best.
Keep it local.
I only drink Rochester.
By that he means things that were purchased in Rochester,
or just the city.
Whatever. All right, so we got Kurt Cobain is your general. That was the guy who made you pick up guitar. Just favorite general band.
Yeah, I was definitely a Nirvana buff.
All Nirvana.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, before that, it's not music related, but I got cold feet at my mom's wedding when I was little, and my grandma had to bribe me with the Michael Jackson bad tape in order for me to walk down.
There's nothing wrong with being a Michael Jackson
but
fan.
I can't say that's why I picked up guitar, though.
There's nothing wrong with liking Michael Jackson's music.
I love MJ, even if he does.
There's something wrong with letting him watch your kid. Right. There's nothing wrong with liking his music.
He's no babysitter, but I'd put him on.
Talented musician, yes, absolutely. Yes. What about you, buddy?
Growing up, it was mostly 80s hair metal rock, things like that.
A lot of screaming.
Right. Maiden, always growing up.
Oh, like the real
oh, yeah.
hair metal rock, not like Poison and
that's real with me.
Twisted Sister too.
I still love
also
Poison,
those guys.
though.
Well, no, I'm not trying
this
to
guy's
knock.
too hip for the room. He can't like the commercial band.
On at the restaurant.
Hold on, I'm going to get a bunch of flack for saying that if I don't clarify. I'm not knocking Poison.
All right.
But I'm saying they're not Iron Maiden.
Right.
It's true.
They're not
Very
Slayer.
true.
They're not
true.
Metallica, if you want to put them in that category.
Very true.
They're not any of the, they're a little bit different of a hair metal kind of band.
Definitely. They basically set the precedence to me. It was always Maiden, Metallica, AC/DC sometimes, but mostly it was like Maiden and Metallica.
You only need AC/DC sometimes. You
Right.
never need to like. If you
don't need to
open
go
somebody's
It's 3 chords over 60 songs.
if you like just meet somebody and you open their CD book and it's all AC/DC, that person's boring and has no
Right.
good stories. I think.
I'll stop my car right there and let them out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Get the hell out of
How
here.
dare you bring
You
your
don't even-
CDs in my car?
You don't have anything but AC/DC. I really love AC/DC, man. What's wrong with
I
that?
really don't love you. I love everybody.
You have no soul.
Sure, everybody can enjoy AC/DC when Back in Black is like the scene music for a scene in a movie.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, I love Back in Black.
Oh, AC/DC's good. I like AC/DC. It's just, they're not like the only band. Now we're killing AC/DC. Jesus, it was Poison a minute ago.
Come on now.
AC/DC's good.
Right. Especially when you're drinking your
In
plain
very small
Thunderstruck.
doses and randomly.
A show like
over a
ours
decade.
can always
Yeah.
stand for some hate mail.
On the radio, I'm always like, yeah, she was a fast machine. She kept the motor clean. You're right, AC/DC.
A show like ours could always use a little bit of hate mail. So, keep going,
Yeah,
guys.
you're right. Fuck AC/DC.
Get real.
So, got one? Yeah, when I was a kid, like my first big album that I had 2. I got them for my 14th birthday, and I was like set with these 2 albums forever. And it was Rancid, Out Come the Wolves, and Green Day Dookie. Were like
Green Day Dookie.
Green Day
cassette tape.
Dookie was
awesome.
epic.
Right?
Everybody as I got out of Michael Jackson, I got Green Day Dookie.
I went from Alan Jackson to Green Day Dookie.
There you go. It's the Jacksons.
Yeah, different Jacksons, but yeah.
Yes.
We can put them in a category together. We can get 5 of them together, I bet.
So we're all set. There goes my question. We all loved Green Day's Dookie album.
Oh my
Well,
God.
yeah, that was. I think it was a generational kind of
90s
epic
you got
thing.
to.
If you didn't like Green Day,
You know,
just don't like music.
Yeah, exactly.
we get bands in here now and then, and I like make a Green Day reference, and they're like, "No, fuck Green Day. I don't even want to talk about them."
yeah.
And I'm like,
Sellouts.
"Screw
They're
you!"
sellouts.
And I'm like, "They're not sellouts. They're massively successful."
Well, yeah, I'd hate to be Green Day's deep pockets.
Sell out more
I
than
hate
anything
it so
in
bad.
this
It's such a
world.
stupid thing to call a band. Why?
You
Because
mean
they
one.
like.
And I love a person that could call a band to sell out. Like they're like somebody waved money in front of the band. They're like, "Oh shit, yeah, we'll change our sound for it."
Yeah, coming
And
from
the
guys,
band's like, "No, I know that they took the money to change their sound."
coming from guys who work $60 gigs.
Yeah.
Sold.
You know, that's another thing too. I really hate is like fans need to understand that a band it's so hard when a band's writing a record. It's either they do the same record as they did before and it doesn't. There's no
And then
growth.
there's no progression, yeah.
There's nothing to it, or they try to change. Because as a musician, you're grown as a musician as well. Therefore, your music it's going to reflect in your music. Did you just flag him down for another beer?
It almost went off seamlessly too. It really
If you
almost
hadn't called me on it, it would have been seamless. No, I was
I had
preemptive
no idea. I
striking.
turned around and you weren't there. I'm like, what the fuck? He pulled his cord. Shit. He finally jumped. He almost pulled my cord.
But yeah.
All right, I'm sorry you got derailed. And speaking of pulling the cord, you guys have a new album that you're recording now that we already spoke a little bit about, and you brought us a single, a tasty little treat.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Reawaken.
Everybody sit down, shut the hell up, and listen to Reawaken by YoungBloods live in the studio tonight.
Love
everybody. Welcome to AirWreckRadio. We are still in the studio with our new friends, the
Wasting
YoungBloods.
time and shitting around.
Yes, we're good at that. So, coming back from break questions.
Coming back.
Anybody think any of those?
Knuckles. Break those questions. Question for Joey.
Yeah.
Love the ink on the forearm on the other side of the forearm.
This?
I had to, no, other side.
That's
That one right there, the microphone.
Yep.
Love that. Where did you get that?
Dylan from White Tiger. Actually, now, Love Hate.
From Love Hate?
Yep, Dylan.
All right. We are friends with a couple of different shops.
TJ's my girl. You know TJ?
No, we don't
from
know.
White Tiger. She did my lion. And
I know the name because a friend of mine goes to her.
Oh,
actually.
dude, she's awesome.
As soon as you said White Tiger, I remembered.
That lion's pretty dope, but if you ever become dismembered, will you donate your arm to AirWreck
Donate,
Radio?
just take
and we'll
it.
just turn
Just take it.
your arm microphone tattoo into an actual microphone.
Don't ask.
All right.
I'll be an organ donor.
I know it's a visual. It's a very visual element, but he's got a tattoo of a classic oldie style microphone on the back side of the forearm that I dig. I just noticed it while he was talking.
Yeah, he did good on it, man.
And it's one of your more brightly colored ones.
I was gonna say, you know what? It's the only color that I held pretty well on my Guido olive skin. So,
So Italian.
It's cool, man. I got really pale skin, so my tattoos just
God
fall
bless
right
you,
off.
man. My
They just-
friends that have
they
it
don't hold. They just
That's why I get
Off.
envious of white people. Well, white hair people.
What kind of confession was that, Joey?
I have no idea.
Caucasian, no.
Here I
other
thought the
can.
space episode might be free of any kind of ethnic.
We can't do that.
White people?
Good.
Come on now.
What do you mean white people?
By the way, I can already destroy the space episode being free of race. So
I know our friend Mike already
Come on,
did
I
that
got
for
that
us.
covered.
It's going to be unusual for people to hear it because they're going to hear it earlier, and we're talking about it now like it didn't already happen, but in their world it did.
So yeah,
there goes the illusion, folks. It's pre-recorded.
Everybody knows that.
We killed Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah. So we've got the single coming out next week on iTunes, on you said Bandcamp.
Yep.
Correct.
And then you're working on the new album. When do you guys expect the new album out again?
We finished recording next week, and then it's gonna go into like mixing and mastering for a little bit, and then we're probably September sometime, like later September as well, like when we're planning on hitting the road. So
Okay, and I asked that specifically because I want to make sure we have time in our calendar around that time for them again to come back in and
Sure,
do the
yeah.
whole album.
oh, we would love that. That would be amazing.
That would be a good move. We could feature your whole album through a music show.
Yeah, I wish we would have brought more, but
Hey,
I
no, the
wish
singles
that too,
are
but
singles
hey,
a taste.
Man,
I
recording
get
is
that.
where it's at. You know,
Yeah.
it takes the time it
we
takes.
could blame our producer.
Do that. I usually do that.
Yeah, he does that. He does that a lot.
He's a
No,
tornado.
Evan's the man.
Yeah. Does he need work in podcasting?
not as cool as you guys. But he's pretty good.
Well, I guess I'll stick with the guy I got.
He's a functioning
more
alcoholic.
more visual element. There's a finger being pointed at Stacy's head right now.
Which finger? It's glorious.
Sign language?
This means I love you in every different language.
So you guys, August 17th in Cleveland. You got where in Cleveland?
Grog shop.
Grog shop?
Grog
like
shop.
Orc beer?
It's like frog, but grog.
Grog, yeah, all right, cool. Orc beer.
Yep.
You know, I drank too many beers and now I'm groggy as a motherfucker.
For our role-playing friends, if they're out there listening, not role-playing, will understand that grog is what orcs drink.
Okay.
To get drunk.
Nobody
in the studio gets that. That really
Is that a
upsets
Hobbit
me.
reference?
Not even
It's
this
kind
guy.
of I guess
And
maybe.
if
I
this
don't know
guy
if it
doesn't
is.
get it, dude, you're deep.
Oh, please. You never painted a miniature in your life.
Miniatures, no. I used to make automotive models.
More to the point, the Grog Shop is where you can see YoungBloods August 17th in Cleveland, Ohio. Make the trip to beautiful Cleveland. I think they have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio.
They do.
And Drew Carey's show was filmed there, so I mean, maybe you'll see
Cleveland,
Drew comes
Drew
on some shows.
Carey might be there. I'm pretty sure he's in Hollywood doing Price is Right, but you know.
I think LeBron's still. No, never mind.
No.
No.
Oh my God! Why to just take it a wound and pull it as hard as
How
you can?
about Justin? Every single time, he doesn't even care who he's around. It's all LeBron. All the
Okay. Are you a Cleveland fan or are you a LeBron fan?
I'm not a fan of anything. Honestly, I know
everything.
He's a fan of busting chops.
Right. So when he first got traded away, we were playing there like the night after, and people came up trying to get in T-shirts, things like that, loving us, talking to us. And every person that came by, I apologized for what happened with LeBron.
I'm sorry about your chances at the title. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to hear about LeBron.
You should pull that same move in Buffalo.
Stink eye, you constantly.
Just like, I'm sorry about your team and players. I'm sorry about your team and players.
It sucks because I think Buffalo's just got a curse.
Cleveland and Buffalo are the same story.
The football team, though. I mean, they're a hockey. Everything is just.
Cleveland and Buffalo are the same story, different states.
Oh my God, man! All of my friends I'm like, when are you going to be done? Like, give it up, man.
We can't. You
want to be miserable for the rest of your life?
Yeah, it's not a matter of want.
It's in our blood. We can't. If we could stop.
Are you a Buffalo fan?
Yes, we are.
We are both Buffalo fans. But it's like
Bills.
We would quit if we could, but you can't. It's like fucking heroin, only without the high.
Right. Completely understand.
It sucks.
It's like when an abuse victim sympathizes with the abuser and wants to protect them.
He needs me. No, he really needs me.
Exactly.
True story. I used to be a huge Bills fan when I was
I'm glad you were able to move on.
Really young.
Okay,
I was 7 years old. Now, it was the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson was the halftime show.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Right.
Now, let me tell you something.
We lost that one, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was the one we
lost. I don't know why I was going to bother answering that.
Thank you, Captain Literal.
They took Jim Kelly out. I was so little, and I didn't understand what was happening. I literally started crying and ran out of the room.
What?
I cried. Yep.
Listen, kid, he's got 2 bum knees. And he's
Jimmy,
no.
come on, Jimmy.
Listen, kid, he's got 2 bum knees and he can't see straight anymore. We're pulling him. No, you gotta play Jim Kelly, man. He's my hero.
No, don't do it, Jim. No, go back.
My favorite Jim Kelly memory is a game well after he retired. It was a January Miami game.
Those are always either really exciting or really serious.
Or December Miami game, whatever.
Was there.
And fucking Jim Kelly was running up and down the fucking grandstands screaming, "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow."
Poor guy lost his mind. Still messed up from that Super Bowl.
And everyone said Jim Kelly was a dick, and then I saw that when I was a kid, and him running over, "Let it snow, let it snow." This guy seems like a ton of fun to me.
You remember how like all the Bills fans used to be like, "He's such a fucking pussy, man. He's all beat up. He just he can't play." You know, he
might have been because he was like 40 and still playing football.
Yeah, like seriously, man. That's a little rough to say about like
Brett Favre, man. Come on,
the cyborg of football.
Quit when he was
what? Why is he still playing?
When ruining your numbers. You could have been the greatest quarterback of all time. Now you're a joke. Put your cock away and go home.
See, I didn't mind anything Brett Favre did right up until his cock came out. And then I was like, oh my God, they murdered Optimus Prime. It's the saddest thing for me.
Was the cheese head out? I'm completely lost.
You could tell the cheese head was out. You could tell by his retirement watch that said Green Bay Packers on it.
He had a Super Bowl cock ring, actually.
Awesome. I know what I'm Googling later.
You know what, though? Frank Reich. I met Frank Reich at Eastview Mall.
Oh, really?
And I saved that thing.
Thank you, Frank.
It was the only thing I loved after Jim.
Yeah. Love you, Frank.
Oh, my God, man. When
Flutie.
Bruce Smith and everybody used to chant Bruce. Oh, I was such a wee lad.
Yeah. Then when I was a kid, I really didn't understand at first that they were saying Bruce. Yeah. I thought they were booing. I was like,
yeah, it was a weird chant.
Yeah. But it was a real Bruce. Oh, I'm glad to find that we have football fans in the studio.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God.
It's nice to I've been dying to talk about football, and it's finally like a cool enough temperature to like. It feels appropriate to be talking about it. Training camp started today.
Yeah, we couldn't talk about football on episode 10, 11, 8, 9 because we're at 100 degrees.
Right, we could totally do it over this rock interview on Space Night.
That's the theme. Fucking who cares?
Hockey? That's
Hockey
right.
season 71 days away.
That's nice. That's the sport I always wished I followed more.
They go 71
And I
days
start
without
out,
playing
I'm going to be a
hockey.
hockey fan this year, and I'm going to follow the Sabres, and I'm going to follow the season, and I'm going to be a hockey fan
You're going to be
this
just as
year.
miserable.
Right.
They're in the NFL, man. Don't do that.
All you got to do
Don't do that.
just get some beer and watch people fight on ice.
That's true.
It's an interesting
It does gotta
sport
change
to
your,
watch people
your center of
box on
gravity
ice
when you
skates.
throw
Oh my God,
on
yeah.
skates.
When you're in a sea of blue and gold, and me and Joey are wearing black and gold, I mean,
Yeah, we're Penguins fans.
Penguins fans, yeah.
You know what, though? I'm a Steelers fan on top of that, too.
and Pirates.
Oh, that's
Well,
cool.
no,
That
you're
can keep you in just one jersey then, because it's
Pretty
like
much.
similar enough.
But unfortunately, I'm also a Yankee fan for MLB.
That is
so
unfortunate. I'm
So it's
sorry.
weird.
I'm sorry.
I have a tattoo on my
overpaid.
thigh of a
Does-
Yankee.
Well, listen,
How
man,
does it feel to be hated by 90%
we
of
all
the country?
have thigh tattoo regrets.
we all make mistakes. It's true.
Yo, why don't you show yours?
I'm not standing
Show
up.
yours.
I'm not taking my pants
Show
off.
yours.
I would appreciate it.
All right,
if you
come
didn't.
on.
Show yours.
Show us. Come on. Come on.
I'll hold your Jenny.
Just is dropping chow for us
Can't even
here
stand
on AirWreck Radio.
Did you seriously?
Look at, watch this tattoo.
We're watching. I'm just making sure that we're still alive.
Now who is that?
Is that David Carradine?
That's me. That's actually me.
What?
A dream of mine.
That's it. Show's over.
Awesome tattoo.
You're the only guy
I
who
have ever
drops your
seen.
pants and the attention goes to the tattoo, not the nuts.
Hey, I hold them.
Hands down, most awesome tattoo I've ever
It's
seen.
pretty good.
Yes,
It's
by a
pretty good.
mile. Screw
All right.
your old-fashioned microphone
I know,
tattoo.
I know. My shit
We're going
sucks.
out on a high point here. Folks, thanks for joining us. Check out YoungBloods. Check them out on Facebook. Check out their new album, which is releasing someday. We hope in August, was it? September. That's right. Your show is in August in Cleveland at the Grog Shop.
We release our song tomorrow.
The
Yes,
song releases
yes.
tomorrow. Where can
You
people
suck
hear
at
it?
this.
Well, no, it's cool because you
No,
guys
no,
covered it.
no.
You said this week.
Right?
It still counts.
I like picking on him for
sucking
sucking
going on
at this.
here.
Oh.
It's tomorrow for anybody listening live. It's yesterday for anybody listening Wednesday.
Bingo.
There you go.
Thank you for joining us on AirWreck Radio, guys, and we can't wait to have you in next time
Thank
when
you
you
so
have
much
your
for having
album
us.
out in full.
But now, this
thank you for listening. We want to take a moment to speak to you about a subject that I am sure is close to all of our hearts. All we are asking for is a few simple seconds of your day to save one of these poor creatures. Abused, neglected, and forgotten. It's simply disturbing. These pseudo broadcasters are left without anyone to interview or to create all their content for them. Let's face it, this job's a lot easier when someone else does all the heavy lifting. Please, take just a few seconds of your day to help these poor, neglected creatures by emailing them AirWreckRadio@gmail.com with your booking suggestions and feedback. Thank you for your time and compassion.
Underneath my desk, no jest, it's time for the lot. Confessed at the best of times, got the worst of rhymes, and I don't think I'm the first to find my life devoted less to lyrics than it is to my struggle for pyrrhic victory in the race to be the interweb's #1 devotee of smutty little things that recur on screen. Risque to hate when triple X obscene, milfs who shave themselves so cleanly, twins in positions unseemly. My spleen ain't the part that gets vented. I grabbed a hold and fat like I'm in it, distended. Probably ought to leave it alone. Spend more time stroking on my microphone. Got a boatload of midgets and they're in command of a full-grown woman on her knees and hands. Got a long, hard donkey and a farm girl too, and the brain so dismaying when it starts to spew. You gotta click, close, put it away, cause the internet is FILTHY.
Hey folks, welcome back to AirWreck Radio. I sure hope you enjoyed our interview with YoungBloods as much as we did. We had a blast with those guys. They were a ton of fun. So big props, big thanks to them. I loved their song, Reawaken. That's terrific. I dig it. It's the kind of music that I would pay for. It's the kind of music I encourage you to pay for. Go to iTunes and pay for it.
Or Bandcamp.
Oh, that's right. They're another Bandcamp band. Yep. Check out Bandcamp. I think we should start to check out Bandcamp and maybe see what that's about.
I've poked around a couple of times. I think we might sign up as a fan page.
Is that some kind of venue that we could make use of at all, or
only if we use it to solicit
to find bands? Yeah.
Like we couldn't make a band page because we don't sell our music. Our tracks are
right.
You know what I mean? And we can't sell our show. Even if people would be willing to pay for it, we can't sell our show.
Damn.
It gets very complicated when you get into logistics of,
I don't see the complication. Here's my hand, put money in it. What's so hard about that?
We would immediately lose one of the favorite musical features.
Oh yeah, MC Frontalot would take a dive, he would jump off.
Yeah, we would immediately lose that.
I love Frontalot's music. I personally own all of Frontalot's music, so I wouldn't really be losing anything there. And neither would you, because I would certainly allow you to listen to my music, but our listeners would miss out on MC Frontalot and would instead have to buy their Frontalot.
Well, that's why we don't play all his music, just tasters, because we're hoping they will buy the Frontalot.
They should buy the Frontalot. He has a song about buying his music. Maybe we'll play it sometime on this show. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, not me. So at the start of the show, in the opener, we were talking about the Virgin spaceship thing.
Yeah.
The how like you and I, if we were loaded, could fly to space. And
at least close to space.
Yeah.
Brush space.
You could look at space and Earth. It's not something you can do from Earth.
Yeah, no.
So sometime between here or there, I looked up the pictures of this thing. Have you seen this thing?
Yeah, I've seen the ship.
It's a cool. It looks like the Tailspin ship.
It does look like the Tailspin ship.
Sick. It looks like it's got like the two main hulls, I guess. You would call them pontoons if it was a boat.
Yeah.
And the pilot of the ship, of the plane part of the ship, flies from one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got 4 big-ass jet engines. And Now, you had mentioned to me that it spirals up to the sky.
Yeah, it
Does the whole thing do that? Or just the thing that it launches, the shuttle?
after it launches, part of its approach to its orbit is a circular, flat, upwards corkscrew.
The shuttle.
Yeah.
To clarify, it's got a little shuttle that it drops out of the middle of it, and it looks like a glider.
Yeah.
But this thing is propulsion. It's got a big goddamn rocket on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it corkscrews upwards.
It corkscrews upwards until it loses its momentum.
That's super cool.
And then you start to come down and you get the 0G.
I want to ride on that thing so bad.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my god. I definitely want to ride on that thing so bad.
This has been an extra fun space show with the added delight of having YoungBloods in. I want to thank having Dr. Tom in. You can expect him more in the future. Anytime we have a question about things that are bigger than us up there,
He's also, I believe, he mentioned that he was working on a website himself, or perhaps wanted to be hosted on our site or something as like our physicist as part of his.
That's right.
His doctorhooding, however, whatever it is, his indoctrination. I don't know what they call it when you're on your way to being a doctor. Next year, he'll be a legitimate doctor.
Well, he's studying for his doctorate.
Doctorate, yeah. Yeah, he won't actually go up there and use a stethoscope to monitor the heartbeat of a star.
That's a medical doctor.
Absurd. He would burn up. Stars don't have heartbeats. Also. So you can ask him questions.
Yeah, I would be happy to set something up with Dr. Tom on the site. Ask Dr. Tom.
I think we should call him
Cupid.
Dr. Physicist Tom.
Why?
I don't know. Dr. Physicist, it really clarifies that we're not talking to a medical doctor. Or, if we ever have a medical doctor, we'll call him Dr. Bones McGee or whatever, whatever his actual name is. We'll call him Dr. Bones first, and then his actual name.
Yeah.
Dr. Bones Phil.
Yeah, that's exactly what if we ever do get a medical doctor, we'll just call him Bones. That's perfect. I love it.
All right. I hope we never get any other kind of doctor. What if we get a marine biologist? Oh, it's confusing now. We're never going to get a marine biologist.
Is that one of your interests?
In AirWreckRadio.
Is that one of your interests? Because it's not really one.
Marine biology?
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah. You can, I don't know, get fucked by a dolphin, I guess. That's, that's all right.
Aggressively raped, actually.
Yeah, dolphins are creepy rapists, so that's fun.
But they are non-human peoples. That's non-human persons.
That's what some people say. I don't know.
India.
They don't talk to us.
India officially classified them as non-human people, non-human persons.
Do you want to know another fun thing about India?
They are now covered by their rights as a being.
I want to talk about Indian rights for just a minute. In India, if you get in a car crash, you cannot get medical attention until a police report's been filed. So, the Indian people calling dolphins non-human people, you gotta kind of look at how they define people.
That's good. That's a good point.
You gotta take both sides of that.
But I think the big thing is they're no longer allowed to keep dolphins in a zoo, in a SeaWorld type,
Yeah, I think that's on its way out the door.
I think it should be.
Yeah.
I think the whole zoo concept is kind of barbaric, honestly. You know what really does it for me? And my girls both went to the zoo this year.
Yeah.
And they both told me the same story. We went and saw the polar bears.
Oh, thank God it's not the penguins. My wife would be crushed.
Well, I mean, we went to see the penguin exhibit, and the lighting was really crappy.
No, it wasn't. That's completely untrue.
No, but
plus she didn't do the lighting; she did the exhibit.
Oh, okay. No, I feel bad for and they both said the same thing. We saw the polar bear, but he wouldn't get out of the water. I said, baby, it's 90 degrees outside. Yeah. Polar bears are from one of the coldest places on Earth.
They wear sweaters all the time.
And I looked at him, I said, baby, do you think he's happy in Rochester in this kind of heat without any ice? Oh, no.
We should send him to space and see how he likes that shit.
There you go. Here's some cold for you, tough guy.
You know what makes me sad about polar bears? Seeing the videos where they're showing how their habitat. They got this soaking wet, sad looking polar bear on a little block of ice in the middle of fucking water.
Yeah.
And they're like, polar bears, not long-distance swimmers. That shit makes me sad. But on the other hand...
They're ferocious, meat-eating animals.
They're polar bears, folks. These aren't puppies. They're polar bears.
They're mean.
I
Polar
respect
bears are
their
vicious.
right to live, but they gotta compete a little bit, man, you know?
Well, yeah, it shouldn't be handed to them, but I don't think it's fair to take an animal like a polar bear, or even a penguin, I'm sorry, who's not used to this climate and force them to live in it for our amusement. I don't think that's right. That's my opinion.
I'm with you on penguins more than polar bears, because really this is like the only way polar bears are going to survive is in zoos. Like, soon there will be no wild polar bears.
Well, you know what? And as far as I'm concerned, that maybe
we should just freeze one.
Just in
save
case.
It for later. Not
Save
two
it for
of them.
later.
I'm sorry. We would want two, obviously, or a pregnant one. We'll freeze a pregnant one.
With a male baby.
Ew. And then 2,000 years from now, we'll thaw them out and we'll make them make little cross-eyed polar bear babies.
With 6 thumbs.
And we'll repopulate the newly formed icelands. That's insane. What mad scientistness is this?
Craziness.
Yes.
That we've launched into. But we have a tendency to do that here on AirWreckRadio. But this week was our science week. It was all about observation.
It was.
Facts and figures.
Facts had a big part in making science happen today.
Next week, we take a step in a more spiritual direction, I guess is not the word I'm looking for, but it's the best thing I could come up with. I don't know, because it depends on your
pseudoscience.
I don't know that they claim that it's science.
Paranormal
investigation.
There you go.
That's exactly what it is. Kind of, they don't. I've never heard any of them claim to be scientists, as they are just investigators collecting as much data as they can.
So,
oh wait, that's a
wait
scientist.
A minute. Do we have paranormal investigators?
Yes.
Next week.
Coming in next week, AirWreckRadio is happy to have Black Hawk Paranormal Investigators of Rochester coming into the show to sit down and talk about their escapades hunting ghosts.
Are they rolling on 20s in their escapade? Go check out my escapade, dog.
It's got the dub spinning.
I got dubs on my escapade. Dumbass, it's an Escalade.
And they're a small local group. Never been on TV. Yeah,
they're not those paranormal investigators.
Yeah, you know.
They're different ones.
Yes. I believe they're either an all-female or a mostly all-female crew. In all the pictures, I've only ever seen one guy. So
maybe he was a ghost.
My initial reaction was they needed a guy to set up the equipment because the girls couldn't figure it.
Carry that shit.
I figured the girls couldn't figure out how to set the VCRs.
I wonder what kind of equipment.
Recording equipment.
Oh, recording equipment. They just like monitor the white noise.
Again, we'll have to ask them.
If only they were here right now, we would have 2 shows in fucking 4
we'd have
weeks
5 shows.
Yeah. What a fiasco it's been.
Oh, I know. Episode 12 has just been a wreck, and you would think this should be getting easier, not harder. But we continuously want to fall apart at the seams.
I want to let the folks at home in on a little secret.
Go ahead.
If you'd like.
Go ahead.
This show has been an absolute fiasco from start to beginning.
Oh my God.
We have recorded this. There are like 8 hours of audio for this show. We're actually on a different day right now
than half the show.
For half of this show. So, if you didn't know, now you know.
And now you'll know why this was late being published.
Yeah. Our Wednesday morning midnight listeners, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
I love you, though, because when I wake up in the morning on Wednesday and I play the show, there's already like 16 listens.
They're gonna be mad. They're gonna be mad.
They're probably gonna be mad.
Yeah.
You should probably just give them like the fucking whole train wreck. Just here you go, guys.
All right, you want it? Here's 8 hours of uncut audio. Yeah. Boom.
And then just cut it that take that back down when the
and then do the show. Yeah.
So maybe that's what we'll do. So our midnight listeners have something special.
They can have all the raw audio. Here you go.
Because there's a lot of gold there. If you don't mind the fact that Tom's mic wasn't on.
for half of his interview, and you don't mind sifting through the hours of us talking over the mics because we're not on in the show.
I don't know that you should release all of that. That's a lot, man. We only paid for so many hours. That's
you know what?
I don't.
You will notice in the show, our loyal rec heads, a company that we used to pimp a lot because we felt they were being very good to us, we no longer feel is being so good to us. And though I feel that we're back to New Corner for the moment, it's just the moment. Eventually we'll be moving on. So please do your best to stream or listen to the show via Stitcher, AirWreckRadio.com, or iTunes. Or the Facebook, because I won't be using their link anymore. I'll be using Stitcher's.
Oh, we're done with the...
We still have them, because we're stuck with them for now.
We paid for them.
We're stuck with them for now.
So pissed.
But they're no longer getting any more publicity from us until they give me back my thing that I'm mad about.
We should be able to get our money back from them.
One of the two.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Are we not gonna? We're not gonna talk about what happened though, just to be polite until it's resolved.
Until
someday I want to blow up about this.
We're going to, but I don't want to do that until all the.
Maybe they'll fix it. We won't need to.
Bingo. That's why I don't want to blow up about it now. That's why I want to just make a point real quick.
Secret, everybody.
What they dicked us right in our buttholes, and we're not happy.
Not in my butthole.
Well, yeah, in your butthole
Actually,
too.
in my wallet hole.
Yeah, they got me. They got me in the heart hole, and you in the wallet hole.
Yeah.
They took the one thing I care about away.
Little boys. That's not true. There's nothing about that statement true. Except that they took something.
Except for our host site took something that the only thing I cared about. The whole reason we're at that hosting site.
Our ratings.
Yeah, part of our ratings statistics.
Yeah.
And
we weren't going to tell them. Now we told them it's out.
But it's okay because we're not slamming them.
Cat's out of the bag.
Don't slam them though.
Hit them with flowers.
We still have that thing that we're don't say anything about that. But we still have that thing that we're working on with them.
Yeah.
So and
what the hell was that? Visual cues, folks. I have no idea what Corey is miming at me.
Yeah. I just don't want you to say what we've got brewing on the radio yet because we're not ready for the fans to know that.
I see.
All right, but so we're stuck with them. So I just wanted to real quick ask the people that are listening, hit the Facebook. Just make sure hit the Facebook, but please, AirWreckRadio.com, Stitcher, or iTunes are where we would really like to hear you guys here in the show.
So stay on our Facebook, I think is the moral of the story.
Always on the Facebook.
And you'll be able to find us from there. And if you want to check us out on the website, it's still under construction, but it's getting better. Pretty much by the day, that website's getting a little fancier. Big props to you on that. That's I can't do that business.
I took classes years ago, and I thought this was going to be easy.
Yeah.
Hey, technology, believe it or not,
moves ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a rapid pace.
Yee, am I in over my head with this website development? So, having said that, if there's any web designers out there listening with any advice,
I think we're talking to you, Punchy.
Also, our friend Billy Fasanella is also a web designer. So we have two.
The funniest man on the boat.
Yeah.
The pirate.
The funniest man on the boat.
Okay.
He's also a web guy. Web designer,
cool.
so we have two.
Excellent.
That's nice.
So step it up, Wreckheads. We need you to do more work for us.
Yeah, man, I can't do all the work.
Please. We'll like pump your business or like I don't know. We'll sign you up on getgirlfriends.com or whatever it takes to get you to do our work for us. We'll do that.
We will promise you anything you want to hear.
Yeah. We'll just say whatever you want, and it's completely untrue, but we'll say it to you.
Yeah, sure will.
Whatever it takes. So, folks, email us this week. The first 10 emailers, I'd like to remind you that email their address to airwreckradio@airwreckradio.com or airwreckradio@gmail.com. We'll get stickers. Hit us up on Twitter @airwreckradio. Corey would love that. I'm actually thinking about learning how to use Twitter because it seems like a great way to like get my mind filled with more bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's actually a great way to distract you from.
I think there's more room in my head for bullshit. If they had a Twitter that was like audio, I'd be down. But I'm pretty sure it's podcasts. So
That's what podcasts are.
maybe they already have that. They just call it something else. I don't know. Big thanks to YoungBloods tonight. We really enjoyed them. We really enjoyed their song Reawaken.
And you guys can plan on hearing it many, many more times in the weeks to come.
Yes, and we can't wait until September when their album, supposedly called What Doesn't Kill You Makes You ... That should be out in September. Check them out August 19th at somewhere doing something. I know that was a date that they said.
Yeah. I don't remember what the plug was either. Wow, we're really good at plugging our guests, aren't we?
Check them out on Facebook at YoungBloods. You'll find anything you want to know there, I'm pretty sure. Thanks. Big thanks to Tom Allen.
Yes.
Who, without him, this episode would have been a completely different episode.
Just another episode of AirWreck Radio.
And we would have had a band. But instead, we got to talk about space. We got to learn stuff. We got to get angry at each other.
Yes.
We had, it was a good show that took about 16 hours to make. And that's not even including the time Corey has to spend before this show gets released.
Oh, my God.
So, poor Corey. It's now about 9:43 on Tuesday night. And in order to allow Corey the time it takes to make this show happen, we're going to have to say good night to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this 12th episode of AirWreck Radio. But much like a uranium-238 nucleus, we got to split.
It's late in the afternoon, the sun rising high. There's nothing to do around here, and if there was, well, I wouldn't try. Taking my comforts, taking good care of me, sitting down in my easy chair, taking a sip of my sassafras tea.
I'd like to extend a very special thanks to Kevin McLeod of Incompect.com, freesounds.org, Audacity Software, GIMP graphic editors, all our band friends, our guests tonight, my dear friend Stacy, and all you, our loyal listeners.
Even see, well, I got the solution, how to deal with this insanity. Just sit down in my easy chair and take a big sip of my sassafras tea. Getting near evening, the sun going down. I guess I should shake a leg, climb in my car and roll downtown. Check out the city lights, all decked out in a tux and a tie. But I'm sitting in my easy chair, taking a sip of my sassafras tea. Jim, he got the willies and the worries on his mind, and the weight of the world putting pressure on his spine. Well, I got the solution.